With just a few weeks left for CAT 2022, now is the time to go ahead and solidify your personal exam taking strategy. With that in mind, BYJU'S Exam Prep brings to you the All India Open Mock CAT. Know exactly where you stand against thousands of CATers and get video solutions and a live mock attempt. What more? There are also thousands of scholarships up for grabs.
Good noon, all of you. I hope I'm clearly visible and audible to all of you. A very happy Dussehra to all of you. Belated happy Dussehra. Hi Varun, good noon. Yes, it was good. Hi Videep, good noon. All right. So, now that I am clearly visible and audible, let's move to the topic of the day, contextual vocabulary. So, hi Divya, good afternoon. I hope all of you are doing fine and your celebrations were also good. Good afternoon, Sankirtana. Okay. Shubha Bijoy. Okay. So, I hope you just saw the video that was played and you know that we have an All India mock live from 30th to 9th, right? So it will be live till 9. You can take it in this window only and not afterwards. So do take it, right? And this is all you get for taking the mock. Okay, so it will help you to evolve a strategy for yourself. Do take it and let me know how the experience goes, right? Today we are going to talk about contextual vocabulary. So we first understand what the word context means, right? So a lot of students are not aware of the meaning of the word itself. So what does the word context mean and how does it help me in solving my vocabulary questions? This is what we are going to see, the first thing. Then we'll become familiar with various ways in which a contextual vocabulary question can be asked from you, the various question formats, right? And lastly, we are of course going to see that how we can become better at learning vocabulary, how we can learn more and more words by looking at the context, okay, by understanding them from the context. Okay, so this is our agenda for today. Hello Apurva. Hi Akhori. Hello Gibson. Good noon Kuldeep. All right. So, contextual vocabulary questions, in which all exams they are asked? I'm sure by now you know that even though CAT does not ask you direct vocabulary questions, let's say in your RC passages, you may have some difficult words which you may have to understand from the surrounding words. So there, this will be of help to you. Then we have seen that in some previous year papers, simple words such as, let's say, dilemma or some other such words which are not really vocabulary words, but they have a specific meaning in the given context. So questions have been framed from them. Right. So in that sense also you should know what a particular word means in a given context. Right. So this is how it will be relevant for you for CAT. And how about your other non-CAT exams? They ask you contextual vocabulary questions. So be it an IIFT asks you so many contextual vocabulary questions. Just pick up your previous year papers and you'll get to know what I'm talking about. Then ZAT asks you contextual vocabulary, SNAP, NMAT, all of these exams, they ask you these questions. Okay, so it's very, very relevant for you. Now, who will tell me what context means? Yes. Hi, Priya. What is context? I don't think so, Varun. I don't think so. I'll also have to check if there's any update on this. Last I checked, they weren't. So what is context? Who will tell me? Waiting for your response. Meaning of a sentence in short. No. Some idea or event. In what sense? Okay. Context has a very specific meaning. The parts of something written or spoken that immediately precede and follow a word or passage and clarify its meaning. Okay, so if I say that uh, going home to my parents is a panacea for me. Okay, let's say after a hectic day, I'm adding this also, after a hectic day. So going home to my parents after a hectic day is a panacea for me. First of all, tell me, from the words surrounding this word, what idea do you get? Is this a positive word? Is this a negative word? Is this a neutral word? Yes. What idea do you form? Going home to my parents after a hectic day is a panacea for me. It's a soothing word. Yes, absolutely. It's a positive word here. So see, what gave you this idea? The context. So the various words, okay, that precede or follow a given word and clarify its meaning, those form the words context. ये context है सारा. ये context है. Okay, this is what context is. All right. So panacea means, what does panacea mean? A remedy for all the diseases. Yes, a cure-all. It's also called a cure-all or a heal-all. Okay, so a cure for all the ills. Sometimes here it has been used positively. Now, why did I take up this particular word only? Because this word can be used positively also. It can be used negatively also, depending on the context. Right? So, one meaning of panacea is also this, that something that just eases your pain for a while but does not treat the root of the problem. Something that in a way pretends to cure everything but does not actually cure it, does not address the root of the problem. That is also one of the meanings, right? So if I say farm loan waivers appear to be the panacea of the times, appear to be the panacea of the times. So when you waiver, when you waiver something, fee waiver for instance, that's a concession in the fee, or basically not asking you to pay the fee, basically telling you that okay, you are not required to pay the fee. So similarly, the government from time to time extends these farm loan waivers. So when the farmers are unable to repay the loans that they have borrowed from the government sometimes waivers that requirement. Okay, tells them that it is no more required for them to repay the loan. So they appear to be the panacea of the times. So in the world that we are living today, they appear to be the cure-all, heal-all. Governments pretend as if just by waiving the loans, they have addressed the problem. They have actually made everything right, which is not the case, right? So we need to address the problem as to why they are unable to repay the loans. So here it has been used in a negative sense, not in a positive sense. So you see how context makes a difference. That is why I took up a word that can change its meaning according to the context. So it's very important for us to look at the surrounding words, right? And then decide the meaning of a word. A lot of times it will help me to know whether it is a positive word or a negative word. A lot of times it will help me to understand the rough approximate meaning of the word. Okay, the approximate meaning of the word. So, and this is how we subconsciously pick up various words through reading. Okay, so let's have a look at a question itself. Fill in the blank with the correct word. So here is the question. The law is harsh and includes hard penalties for offences which have moral dash. What do you say? So, from the context, the law will be harsh on moral offences, basically those offences that involves some moral crime of sorts, right? So I am looking for a moral crime, okay, moral offense, something on those lines. Not the exact, it may not be the exact thing, but something on those lines. So what do you say fits? Okay, you say A, moral obligation. Why? Offenses that have a moral obligation. They have a moral, basically, they have done something wrong morally. Offenses that involve a moral wrong. That's what I am looking for. Not moral obligation. Obligation is your responsibility. So imagine offenses having moral responsibilities. Offenses that have moral responsibilities. That does not make sense. Okay, offenses violate your moral responsibilities. They don't have moral responsibilities. Okay, so I've got B, C. All right, we are guessing here. Duress. Any student who studied a bit of law here? So in, I think, business law, this word is mentioned, duress. When you force a party, you threaten a party to say or act in a certain way, to say something or act in a certain way, that coercion, that pressure that is put on the party is called duress. Okay, duress simply means pressurize karna, kisi ko coerce karna by threatening them, okay, by threatening violence or some other sort of a threat. Okay, so offenses which have moral duress, moral coercion, okay, not eliminating it right away, not eliminating this right away, keeping it in the fold. Okay, moral turbidity. Why C? C, I think 4 of you have said C. Turbidity. What is turbidity? I think in science you must have read this. Turbidity of a liquid. So what is turbidity? Who will tell me? Turb, disturb, perturb, they all, and turbidity, they all share a root, turb, which means to shake, right? So turbidity is something that's cloudy, the quality of being, not clear, muddy, cloudy, that is turbidity. Okay, so moral cloudiness. Okay, probably you are looking at it as lack of moral clarity. I think this is how you are interpreting it, that it is morally unclear. That's what you are thinking when you are marking C as the answer. Morally unclear. Offenses that are morally unclear. But that does not make a lot of sense. That offenses that are morally unclear. Offenses that involve a sort of a moral pressure, that still makes some sense, okay, and it makes better sense as to something that lacks moral clarity. So C, I think when I compare B and C, B appears better to me, so I reject C. Now we are left with D, turpitude. What is turpitude? Turpitude is wickedness, cruelty, wickedness. So now compare B and D. B versus D. Moral coercion versus moral wickedness. What will the law be harsh on and involve hard penalties for? What do you say? That's okay, Roshan. Good morning. Good afternoon, rather. Okay. So clearly, D is a better choice. Something that involves moral wickedness should actually involve harsh and hard penalties, right? So D, Delhi is our answer here. Now I understand that some of the words here were difficult in meaning, right? However, I feel that A and C should have been eliminated by you. Okay, between B and D, definitely you had to know their meanings or have at least an approximate idea of the meanings, but A and C could have been eliminated. Okay, offenses don't carry any moral responsibilities, and offenses don't have moral shakiness, so to say. Okay, moral being morally unclear. So these two could have been eliminated. So this way, eliminate and proceed. See, in your exams like NMAT also, you may not know the answer to all the questions, but the thing is that you can't skip any question. So in that case, let's say such a question comes in front of your screen, you eliminate A and C. If you're not able to eliminate between B and D, then you make a guess and proceed. But still, your probability of getting the answer correct would be 1 by 2 here, rather than making a wild guess. Right? So this is how we smartly navigate questions that are difficult for us in an exam that is adaptive. Okay. Let's go to our next question then. This is also fill in the blank. The author's latest work has been criticized as being dash in fact and in argument. So it has been criticized because it probably is not something in facts and something in arguments. Okay, so what will you say? Which words do you know the meanings of? No, they aren't, Akori. They aren't previous year questions. So sometimes I leave the previous year questions to you, that you will actually open the previous year papers and attempt questions from there. So these have been created by our content team. Okay. The author's latest work has been criticized as being dash in fact and in argument. Okay. Insouciant. What does insouciant mean? Insouciant. So I read this word for the first time when it was related to a singer, that how she sings in a very insouciant manner. When you don't care about the world, you show a casual attitude towards something. That's when you are insouciant, right? So when you simply don't care, a lack of concern, showing a lack of concern, that is insouciant. Okay. What else is there? Insuperable. See, this is easy. Insuperable. Basically something that you can't one up, right? Something that you can't overcome. Cannot be overcome. Okay. Vapid is a common word. Now, vapid is a high frequency word and you should know its meaning, right? Similarly, venerable is a word that you should know the meaning of. Good. You are absolutely right, Akori, Roshan, Vidhi. As far as the meaning of insouciant is concerned, you are correct. Vapid and venerable are high frequency words. So, tell me, what kind of, let's say, what kind of a book will be called vapid? What kind of a speech can be called vapid? Yes. किसके लिए use करेंगे हम? Insurmountable. Absolutely. That is insuperable. Very good. Insurmountable is insuperable. Something that is very dull, boring, tasteless is vapid, right? So dull, boring, tasteless, dull, boring. Okay, also used for tasteless. Something that's bland. Okay, so can be used for food also. Venerable is somebody who is esteemed, respected in the society. So venerable is a high frequency word. Vapid is bland. Yes. So yes, for somebody, history books can be vapid. Right. So now that you know the meanings of all the words, tell me which options can we eliminate right away? Yes. Eliminate. कौन सा options we can eliminate right away? August. Yes, his August presence. So his esteemed presence. That's what I mean when I say his August presence. Good. All right. So I see, first of all, you will eliminate venerable, right? It can't be respected or esteemed in fact and in argument, first of all. And we are talking about criticism, so we need a negative word here, right? Similarly, insurmountable, you have to eliminate. Insuperable, you have to eliminate, because that would mean that it's so well written that, no one can actually dispute it in a way. That is what it would mean. So B and D outrightly eliminated. So two of your options will be such. If in case you know the high frequency words, mostly you will be able to eliminate 2 out of 4 options. So we are left with A versus C. Yes. So the author's latest work has been criticized as being dash, in fact, and an argument. Probably it's dull, it's boring, right? So vapid fits better. Insouciant is a characteristic that is usually given to people. Okay, that her manner is insouciant. Okay, so for texts, when we talk about works, texts, books, we do call them vapid, we do call them dull and boring. So it relates better, and that is why C is the answer. Okay, so good. Quite a few of you said B and D can be eliminated. Okay, you think insouciant is the answer as being insouciant. In fact, and in argument, insouciant is usually associated with a person's manners, with a person's mannerisms, so to say, not manners, mannerisms, right? The way this person behaves, right? So insouciant is a word that is usually associated with behavior, showing a lack of concern. Whereas when we talk about books, works, pieces of text, there we call them vapid, dull, boring. So vapid fits better here, not A. Okay? So knowing the usage of the word is also important. Perhaps they should have one more option for A and C. Not really actually. See, as I told you that when we talk about insouciant, we'll call the speaker of the argument perhaps insouciant. We'll say that the arguer is insouciant. But the argument itself is more likely to be vapid in nature rather than an insouciant argument. Right? So that's why C. All right. So this was a fill in the blank question. This is one question type through which contextual vocabulary can be tested. Another similar question type is when the word is given to you and it is underlined in the sentence. Okay, then you have to tell the meaning of the word. So let's see what kind of questions these will be. See this. So two sentences are given. A word has been highlighted here. You have to simply tell me the meaning of this word. Yes. Let's see what you say. We have, again, this is a high frequency word, to stymie something. D, all right. What else? Another D. Okay, again D. We have to give the meaning. We have to give the, see, read the instructions. We have to give the correct meaning of the underlined word. Okay. It's the panda's motion that stymied the evolution of its pseudo thumb. See, again, pay attention to the context. We are saying that we are comparing two animals here. I hope this animal is pronounced as lemur only. It is the lemur's motion that spurred. To spur something is to encourage something, right? To push the happening of something. So it is the lemur's motion that spurred the evolution of its pseudo thumb. So perhaps because of the way that it moves, a sort of a pseudo thumb developed in a lemur, right? I do not know what a pseudo thumb would entail. Just a feeling that there is a thumb, okay, or a fake thumb that is not really a thumb. Okay, that's what I feel. So इस organism की motion से क्या हुआ that एक pseudo thumb develop हो गया. Its motion encouraged the evolution of its pseudo thumb. Okay, but please pay attention to this but. Let's say you do not know what a pseudo thumb is. You do not even know what a lemur is. But you understand spurred, right? You understand that it spurred the evolution of something. But, so here is a contradiction. The panda's motion would then not encourage it. It will discourage it. It will discourage it. Yes. So I am looking for a word that roughly, approximately means discourage. So which word fits here? Impel. Impel is to push forward, to drive something. That is impel. He made, so let's say his enthusiasm impelled me also to act. So this is a word that is synonymous with spurred and not with stymied. Okay. Then let's see. Some of you said B. Okay. Good afternoon, Amrit. Then B and D almost have the same meaning. No. B is the opposite. B is the antonym of D. Antonym of D. To thwart. To thwart is to stop, discourage, prevent. We are looking for this only as our answer. Okay, so to stymie is to thwart, to suppress, to prevent. Okay, abet, instigate, impel, encourage, they are all synonymous. Okay, so in encourage I already told you. To abet a crime, usually abet and instigate, they are used for crimes. Okay, used for crimes. If you abet a crime, aiding and abetting a crime, you must have read this 1,000 times in the newspapers that he was found guilty of aiding and abetting so and so crime. So when you actually you help in the happening of that crime, right? You are aiding it. Okay, you are helping in bringing it about. That is to abet a crime. Instigate, bhadkana, to provoke, to incite, that is to instigate. Usually used for riots. If you read the newspapers regularly, usually used for riots. Or if I say his hate speech instigated the masses, it provoked the masses. Okay. So our answer has to be B, Bangalore. Good. So Anushka, Mohit, Roshan, the fitness freak, Maitri, Amrit, Karthik, Varun. Good, 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 good. All right, all of you are correct. B, Bangalore is the answer here. So please pay attention to the context. We had drawn a contrast for you here, right? So if here it was encouraged, here it will be discouraged only. Also, stymie is a high frequency word. Okay, so you should know the meaning of this word. All right. Another sentence here where a word has been highlighted. Tell me the meaning. Yes. All right. So DCB, that's what I've got. Okay, okay. DCB. Mourning it can also be elaborate, but still dash. Something that is elaborate, detailed, but it is still dash, as it is after the death of most politicians. So whenever a popular figure dies, the queen passed away recently, the mourning rituals were so elaborate, right? So grand also at some level. But at some level, people did feel that they were superficial. So that is the meaning of perfunctory. Something that is superficial at best. Something that is not really sincere. Something that is cursory. Absolutely correct. C is the answer. So if let's say I shake your hand very perfunctorily, that means it's not a very sincere handshake. I just mean to do it because I have to do it, just for the sake of it. So it's a cursory gesture. Perfunctory greetings. When let's say you go to a party, you have to greet people. You have to greet the host at least, right? So you give them perfunctory greetings because you have to at times. So that is cursory, superficial, That is the meaning of this word. Good, those who said C. Quite a few of you did. Fragrant? No, that does not fit here. We're not talking about any sense of smell here. Blatant? Yes. What does blatant mean? Blatant? Blatant disregard for rules would be an outright disregard for rules, right? Blatant disregard is outright disregard for rules. A shameless disregard for rules. That's how I can put it, right? So even this does not fit here, but elaborate but shameless. No. Elaborate but still superficial. This fits. Elaborate but complete. There is no sense of antonym. Elaborate, complete to synonyms lag rahe hain. In the sense that they are similar ideas, not synonyms actually, but similar ideas. So this is eliminated. Elaborate but still desperate. We hadn't shown any sense of calm here. Had I shown a sense of calm here, then desperate would have made sense in the contrast. But right now it doesn't. So C is our answer. Good, good, good. Yes, to do something without any sincere interest in it. That is perfunctory. Correct, correct. So here see the words, some of the words were easy. Complete, desperate, cursory. These are not really difficult vocabulary words. Fragrant, very easy. So this is a kind of question that you should get correct. Okay. All right. Coming to the next question type, which is match the following. Now you will see some previous year questions. Yes. This question that comes on your screen has been taken from a previous year paper. Let's see what you say here. So there are blanks and you have to basically match something from list 2 to fit in the blanks. Let's see what you say. So here you need not know the meaning of each and every word. Just operate through options. Okay, eliminate and then tell me the answer. Yes. Okay. Have I got any responses? B, C, all right. What else? What else? B versus C so far. Others, what do you say? A, all right. So nobody says D, that means. No one says D. So, which is the easiest for you here? I understand that this is not a very easy question, right? That's why I took it. But which, let's say, out of the 4 sentences, the 4 words, the 4 contextual words that are given to you, which is the easiest for you? Procrustean, scrape, which is the easiest? Yes. For me, I'll tell you, for me, B and C were easy. Okay. B was the easiest perhaps for me. Right. Paper is more patient than man. What would this proverb mean? Paper is more patient than man. Moreover, nothing else actually fitted in this blank. Paper is more patient than dash. Okay. So, these actually have stories behind them. These expressions that are given to you here, they have stories behind them. Let me tell you these stories one by one. Right. So, paper is more patient than man, than people actually. The original saying says people. This comes from the diary of a young girl. Right. It's a saying that Anne Frank is attributed with, right? So she said this, that sometimes I write down my feelings and not tell them to people because paper is more patient than people. Okay, so, and I felt that nothing else actually fitted here, right? Bed, no. Bodkin is basically the head of a needle. These big needles, okay, which have this head in which you can put these thick threads. So bodkin is the head of that needle. To scrape something, when you scrape something, you just manage to do this. For instance, they scraped by a living. They just managed to have enough money for, let's say, feeding themselves. So that is to scrape. So nothing else fitted, and that's how I realized that B should be 4 in any case. So that narrows down my options to B and D. Okay. Then I also felt that dash acquaintance with, I am trying to manage acquaintance with someone. That's how I related, because bed acquaintance with did not make sense to me. Bodkin needle से कैसे related होगा, again did not make sense to me. So to scrape acquaintance with someone, that means to make efforts to befriend them, to make active efforts to befriend them. That is to scrape acquaintance with someone. Once I realized this, that C is 1, my question was solved right there. So D, Delhi is the answer here. A is 2, a procrustean bed. Yes. What does a procrustean? First of all, let's see the meaning of procrustean, and then we'll talk about a procrustean bed, right? So, a procrustean bed is actually an idiom, right? And the word procrustean comes from Greek mythology. It means something that is very uniform in nature and doesn't take care of individual differences. Uniform and not taking care of individual differences. So there are such systems, no? So for instance, let's say a standardized system is imposed throughout an organization. So this does not take care of individual differences, right? So let's say when everyone is asked to report at one particular time. Now that one time may not be suitable for everyone, but that's how organizations work. They have this system that is standardized for everyone. So this can be called a procrustean system, which is uniform and enforces you to actually abide by it, forces you to abide by it, but and does not take care of individual differences. So what is a procrustean bed? How does it relate to a bed? Again, it's a scheme. Let's say you don't want to be a part of a scheme, right? But somebody forces you to be a part of it. Let's say there is a government scheme that everybody has to subscribe to. You can't opt out of it. So that will be a procrustean bed for you, right? So this is an idiom, and that's how it is used. And I hope this is clear to you. Bare bodkin means when no thread has been put into this head. When there is no thread inside this head of the needle, that will be called a bare bodkin. Okay, so bare bodkin in some cultures it's not considered to be a good thing, right? In some cultures it is always felt that you should put a thread inside a needle. Okay, so these are the idioms here, these are the proverbs here, okay, that were asked from you. And even if you knew 2 of them, you could have solved this question. So in match the following, always eliminate, always go for the one that you find easy, right? This is an IIFT previous year question. Now, let's look at another match the following. Another match the following. Yes, Mohit, I agree with you there without naming things. Let's see what you say here. Again, look at the usage of, look at the sentences here. They try to give you the meanings of these words, and one of them is extremely easy. So that can actually help you to mark the answer here. One of the expressions is extremely easy. Okay. C, A. What else? C, A. All right. A. Others? A. So this is an easy question. I want more and more responses. All right. So to make do with something. Fine, we'll make do with what we have when we say that. That means we are just managing with limited means, isn't it? So making do is related with this sentence. One. Once you realize this, you found your answer also. See, this is how easy this question was. Okay, again, this is an IIFT previous year question only. I think this was asked in the retake. So IIFT happened twice last year because in some centers it could not happen on December 5. So it was retaken in those centers on December 23. So the others, okay, let's understand their meaning. Fetish for something. I think we know the general meaning of fetish. If we have a fetish for something, we have an excessive admiration for it. We are excessively attracted towards this, right? So if I say that he has a fetish for antique items, that means he likes to collect antique items. Okay. However, one meaning of fetish that we may not be aware of is this. Actually, the word fetish also refers to some sort of a talisman, some sort of a stone, or any other item which is believed to embody magical powers. Okay, stone or any other item, any other, it could be anything that is believed to possess magical powers. So that is also called a fetish. So here, this was the meaning that was being referred to. Okay, when we say these two. Bricolage. So, rock garden has been created from a collection of waste materials. Okay, so when we collect a lot of things, okay, so that is called bricolage. See, you can associate it with a collage, right? So when something is created from a number of available things, that is called bricolage. They need not necessarily be waste. Here, the example that has been given is that of rock garden, and that's why waste materials. But bricolage simply means anything that is a collection, that represents a collection of a number of things. So B is 4 here. A, she made such an abstract theory appear so concrete. So when you reify something, it's a verb. When you reify something, you make something abstract appear to be concrete for someone. Make something abstract concrete. Okay, so for instance, the immediate example that comes to my mind is there is this RC passage that was there in CAT 2007. Now, this RC passage is pretty abstract and it talks about how a researcher researches and what all problems. Basically, it talks about a specific problem that a researcher can encounter. But the language of that passage is very abstract. However, the moment you associate it with some scientific theory, okay, the moment you associate it with some actual research that students are aware of, it becomes very simple to understand. So sometimes this happens that when things are abstract, when they are just theoretical, they are difficult to understand. But the moment you reify them, they become easy, right? To make something abstract more real, more concrete. I hope the meanings of these words are clear to you. So please remember these words. These two questions were tricky, but as I said, that through some elimination and some guesswork, you could have attempted them. This was particularly easy because of the options, right? So I hope you'll remember all these words that we're doing today: insouciant, bricolage, etc., etc. Now here's another question type. 4 sentences are given to you, okay, and choose the option which lists all the sentences where the underlined word is used correctly. So let's see what sort of a question this is. It's a common confusable question perhaps. Okay, uh, easy question. Tell me the answer here. Yes, pretty easy this question. Tell me in which sentences the word has been correctly used. In case you've learned new words today and you've also learned how to solve using the surrounding words, then yes, you can show your love and you can press the like button. A, Nihar says A, only A and C are correct. This person needs the counsel of a psychiatrist. Counsel. Okay. So a counselor counsels you, guides you, right? So a counselor in a way is a sort of a guide. All right. A marriage counselor, for example. Some psychotherapists are also referred to as counselors. So this is fine. A is correct. You are right. So C and D go out of the window then. Now between A and B. Between A and B. Okay, Nihar, Mohit, Karthik. Just 3 students have answered. What are the others doing? Yes. Such an easy question. I am a scientist and if I don't know an answer, I seek counsel. Again, I seek guidance. I seek guidance. So this also fits. I seek guidance. So B is also correct. So naturally, the answer is B, Bangalore, and not A. D, a similar counsel, a similar advice. Okay, a similar guidance, advice of moderation was given to the Canadian press in connection with the Manitoba school question in December 1897. Okay, advice. This fits. See, each of the brothers on the counsel, on the guidance. No. What should be the word here? A common confusables question. That's why I said it. Good, good, good. B is the answer. On the council. यहाँ पर council आना था. Council. On the, basically in that group, in that council. Okay, so this is a common confusables question disguised as this question type. Let's see this one. Question 8. Last question for the day. I want everyone to respond. Yes. Let's see what you say. The teacher asked the students to not allude to any online sources in their research papers. Okay. So what is the teacher really asking? Okay. The fitness freak has answered and he or she says A. What about others? Option A. All right. Okay. Okay. Elude is a verb. Come on, come on. Others also. What happens to you as we near the end? D, all right. ABD. They are correct. Okay. You have to give me the correct ones. Let me repeat the instructions for you. You have to give me those sentences where the underlined word is used correctly. D, all right. Stroke also says D, Moik says D. Okay, okay, okay. So then this is a, these are probably new words for you then. Let's learn something. Elude versus allude. Elude is to simply escape. Okay. Allude is to hint towards something, right? So the teacher asked the students to not, allude can also mean to refer, right? So basically to not give the reference of any online sources in their research papers. That is what the teacher meant. Not to escape to any online sources. No, this is not what the teacher meant. So allude is the word that should have been used here. A is erroneous. A and D both are eliminated. Okay. Anushka says B. C and D. All right. Let's have a look. Rena used a tricky turnaround move to elude the only defender. To escape, yes. To get out of the clutches of the only defender before firing from 8 yards into the empty goal post. Right? So, B is correct here. Okay, she escaped the only defender. So, B is correct. Our answer has to be C. Okay, nobody said C, I believe. Acha, Videep and Karthik said C. Good. So, C is the answer here. B and C are correct. Nick tried to escape the security men by sneaking through a back door. D. The mafia boss ordered his men to not hint towards any criminal activity during their telephone conversations. Do not refer to, hint towards. So D is erroneous. C is the answer here, right? A common confusables question asked in this format. So I hope you learned 4 question types today. Fill in the blanks, meaning of the underlined word, common confusables, and match the following, right? It's not an exhaustive list. There can be many more question types through which contextual vocabulary can be asked from you. So I think the best way to learn words contextually is to read them in context, right? To understand them that way. That's why I tell you that whenever you read articles, don't stop to check the meaning of each and every word. Just try to infer it from the surrounding words and proceed. Once you finish the article, then you can look up the meaning. Watch English news, web series, listen to vocabulary podcasts or any podcast. Even if you listen to stories in English, you will pick up words contextually, right? And very important that you use the words. So from today, use the words elude, right? Bricolage, right? Be fancy, use bricolage. So make use of the words that you learn. Very important. And yes, we'll have an NMAT analysis on 12th October at 5 p.m. Do join us. Do join us here in our batch, right? We have a comprehensive CAT 2023 comprehensive program, right? And we offer all these things to you. You can enroll right now. Also, we are offering our test series, which has 70 plus mocks, 20 CAT and 50 non-CAT mock tests. And this is all that we have: video solutions, detailed mock analysis, everything. Okay, so you can buy this. Then this is what is going on. Yes, I've already had one session in this series. I am Bangalore PYQP series. I'll have another session soon. I think Tuesday we'll have a session on para-jumbles. We'll talk about the kind of para-jumbles that came in 2007 and 2016. So do watch it, okay? A lot of other sessions are also going on. And you already know this. The All India Mock is live. You should take it and we can then discuss it. Yes, do join us on our social media platforms. A lot of interesting stuff we post and we can stay connected via Telegram. Okay? Welcome Mohit. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow. Bye. Welcome Vidhi. Bye.